this week, we are reminded that in the midst of our anxiety, Jesus offers us peace. In the midst of our unbelief, Jesus remains faithful and present with us. In the midst of our misunderstanding, Jesus opens for us again the truth that God's love is for all people. Welcome to the second installment of Calvary's Midweek Bible Boost. We hope you will be encouraged to open the scriptures, to read God's word, and to let the Spirit speak to you. This Sunday, we continue the Easter proclamation that Christ is risen as we turn to the 24th chapter of Luke. Now, our story begins on Easter evening, but earlier that day, Jesus appeared to two of his followers walking on the road to Emmaus. He opened the scriptures to them, and he broke bread with them. But as soon as they recognized who he was, he vanished from their sight. But excitedly, these two rush back to Jerusalem to tell the disciples who have gathered together about their experience that day. And as they are sharing, we read that Jesus himself appeared among them. I love that Jesus' first words to his disciples are, "Peace be with you." In the midst of the trauma and the fear and the anxiety of the last days, peace is what Jesus offers them. But of course, they are terrified. They think they're seeing a ghost. But Jesus assures them they are not. And he shows them the marks on his hands and his feet. Marks that show the length that we humans will go to get rid of what we don't want. But also marks that show the height and the width and the depth of God's love for all people. So then the disciples are filled with wonder and with joy, but they're still unbelieving. So what does Jesus say to them? "Do you have anything to eat?" And just as he did with those two at Emmaus, he eats with them, and he opens the scriptures for them. But then he commissions them, says, "Go and tell all nations the good news of God's forgiveness." You see, Jesus reminds us that God's love is greater than our divisions. God's love transcends our biases and our prejudices. God's love is for all nations, for all people. These short 13 verses are filled with comfort and peace for us. I hope that you will read them again and let the Spirit encourage you with the words of God's peace and presence and promise in your daily life. But then don't just keep it to yourself. Use those words to encourage others, the very words that Christ said to his disciples, "Peace be with you." I hope to see you in worship.